This one is going to be, well, hairy. Don't go away. Hello, friends, and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And indeed, I'll be tackling a very hairy hauler for your viewing pleasure. That's right, I'm going to be restoring a Hot Wheels Redline hairy hauler. A fun casting, and for sure a favorite of mine from the 1971 lineup. The hauler features an opening front and great dual wheels in the rear. This one should be a lot of fun, so let's crack on. Okay, so this is gonna be a really hairy build. Hey, that's a neat slipper. You get it? A hairy build because it's a hairy hauler? It's gonna be a hairy build? Oh, jeez, I kill myself. Anyhow, yes, it is going to be a hairy build as we tackle a Hot Wheels hairy hauler. Now, I love this casting. It's really heavy. It rolls great. It's got a lot of cool looks to it. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start, as always, by getting this sucker apart. And we're going to drill out the posts. And then we're going to go ahead and tap them and put screws in them and get everything into pieces so we can fix this thing up and make it look beautiful. Now, my hairy hauler is complete. It's got all the wheels. The body's pretty good. The glass is the biggest problem it has is the exhaust pipes are bent down, which is probably pretty common, but we should be able to tackle that without too much trouble. Either way, we're going to fix up the paint and make this thing look special. So we've drilled it out, and now I'm going to get out my tiny little screwdriver, and we're going to go ahead and pry this little sucker apart. So you have the motor with the bent exhaust pipes, and it is also one of the posts. Then, of course, we have the base with the suspension system and dual wheels in the back, which is a cool feature. Then, of course, we have the body, and here's a little bit of a sticking point. It's going to prove to be a little tricky to get the glass out. It's like a snap fit, and you got to do it just right to get it out. And same thing with the interior. It kind of is a snap fit, and you got to kind of just manipulate it in the right way to get it in and out of the car. But hey, a little perseverance, the glass comes out, and the interior will release the body as well. So we'll just push forward and get it all apart. That way we can get this sucker into the stripper. I'll tell you what, I love the Vix Bits for getting cars apart, but they really, really shine in prepping the post. They fit down over the post and they round it off and smooth it out and put a little dimple in it that just makes it perfect for drilling. So I'm using the Vix Bits here on the motor post and the body post, and that'll make the whole drilling process go a lot smoother. Now, I'm really not a fan of holding parts while I drill them. I have drilled through a car and right into the palm of my hand. I don't like to do it, so, I have it down on my work table and I'm just going to drill it that way. But with the motor, I'm going to have to hold it and just pray for the best. So with both posts drilled out, we can break out my tap handle from Brightvision and go ahead and get these posts tapped out so that they'll take the screw we need to put the car back together at the end. Unique body styles are often the best goo drops, so I'm kind of hopeful that this will be spectacular, but we'll see how it goes. There it is. It's got this little flip-up driver's compartment, and boom, into the goo. And hey, that was actually a pretty good one. It wasn't one of my best, but that was a pretty good one. So I'm pretty happy. Anytime I get a great goo drop, it's a good day. Okay, so enough about the warm liquid goo phase. Let's talk about straightening out these exhaust pipes. Now, they're not that far bent out of whack, so I've got a little piece of oak here and this little tiny hammer, and I'm just going to lightly try to tap these back into alignment. Now, if they were much worse, I probably would have applied a little heat to these things first, but I really felt like I could just kind of tap them back into place. And so the only thing I'm going to really be doing is I'm going to watch it like a hawk for any signs of stress fractures or anything. But as it goes, I get through it. They get straight. They look fantastic. No problems. So we can move on and get this thing polished. So I really do want the motor and the chassis to shine really nicely. So I'm not just going to wire brush it and drop it in the lime away mix. I'm also going to break out flits and a polishing wheel in my rotary tool, and I'm really going to shine this motor up and the base. Now, I talk about flits all the time, and if you haven't been paying attention, let me say again, Flits is like a one-stop shop for all your polishing needs. Now, okay, you might be able to find another polish that does as good a job as Flits, but can it do the job as well as Flits does with as little elbow grease? You know, because Flits, it makes this job so easy. It just shines stuff up like that. It looks like a brand new penny when you're done. This stuff is amazing. And you can use it on plastics, clear stuff. You can use it on your bases, your engines, just about anything you can think of. If you want to shine it up, Flits will do the job. You know, I'm always telling you guys you should watch all of my videos. So even if you're here as a diecaster, you should be watching my coin ring videos. I'll tell you why. Because the Flits and now this product, the Renaissance Wax, all came from me doing coin rings. So there's a lot of crossover in the hobbies that I bring to this channel. And by watching, you know, if you're a diecast guy and you watch a coin ring video, you may find something else out that you didn't know before. Like Renaissance Wax is fantastic for preserving the shine on parts that you don't want to paint, like this engine and this base. So this is perfect here. And you could have learned about this a long time ago by watching a coin ring video. So tune into everything. You never know what you're going to find. Okay, so the car's out of the stripper. It's been polished along with the base and the motor, and we can go ahead and throw some paint on it. And we're going to paint it pretty much the same color it was, a nice Spectraflame magenta. So I've cleaned the body up really, really nicely. It's shining good, but I don't want any residual flits to inhibit the paint. So I'm going to take a little isopropyl alcohol on a Q-tip, and I'm going to wash the car down. Then I'll let it dry while I'm preparing the paint. Now, for today's paint job, I'm using the magenta that I got at the Redline Shop. And I'm actually going to be using the hardener I got from Brightvision. Yes, they are interchangeable. You can work with them together. It's no problem. So I've gone ahead and pulled out a little of the magenta. I'll add the hardener, mix it up nice and good, and then we can start laying down the paint job. I'll be honest with you, in the diecast world, my favorite projects are these simple redline castings. You know, either a restoration or a resto mod. These are the cars that I really like doing. I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you like them too. Now, the trick with the redline paints is to start with your tack coat, then your medium coats, and then lay on the wet coats until you get the right color that you're looking for. If you put on less, you're going to get a much lighter shade of the color you're using. If that's not where you want to be, add another coat or two. So I've done all that. I've allowed this to dry, and now I'm going to be using my clear coat from Brightvision, and I'm going to cover the car in that and make it ultra shine. Now, I absolutely could have saved the glass from this original casting. It just needed a little bit of sanding and some flits and then gauzy. But I already had a new windshield. So I'm going to take that out of its package and just dip it in the gauzy to give it a little more shine, because it's actually a very prominent piece of this car. So I really want to give it that little extra something. So using the replica windshield, give it a little swim, put it in my onion saver, and set it aside to dry. Now, I always put a lot of the links for the stuff I use in the comments down below, but I now have my own Amazon store, and you can find segmented into categories like models, diecast, coin rings, things like that, and in those stores you can find the different products I use. So to find my store, just go to www.amazon.com/shop/Paul Udelis. And if you don't know how to spell my last name, well, you've really just hurt my heart. I may look like I'm made out of nails and steel, but when you cut me, it hurts and I bleed. And if you can't spell my name, it cuts me. Part of what I like about the Harry Hauler is the dualies in the rear. And I remember the first time I saw some dualies, I was like, how am I going to replace these? I've never even seen them anywhere. Well, all it is it's a thick cap in the back and then a regular cap style wheel over the front to make it look like a dually. So just cap style wheel is really all it is. So I'll pop off the caps, get some new ones, and snap them on, make sure everything's aligned, and we are done with that part of the build. You know, I really am a Sweet 16 guy, okay? Those are all my favorite cars. But I do have a few throughout the entire Redline series that I really dig, and this is absolutely one of them. I love the weight of it. I love the look of it. I love the dualies. I love everything about this car. So this has been a lot of fun for me. So, glass is dry, paint is dry, everything's polished, it's got new wheels on it. We're ready to put this sucker back together. And so far, it's looking really great. Now, if I can just get it back together without screwing it all up. And here is the first challenge. This windshield kind of has to snap in place. It's a pretty tight little fit, so I'm really worried I'm going to damage it after all the work with the Gaussian stuff. But I get it in, it pops in nicely, and it looks fantastic, and I'm super happy. Now I will tell you no lies here. The interior was kind of a pain in the posterior here, and I had to fidget with it for a while before I could get it in. It kind of has to get wedged in there, and then there's a little tab that has to hook in. And I gotta be honest, I fought with this thing a little bit, but I did finally get it in, and it looks amazing. Okay, so on goes the base and the motor, and then I use my little button head screws to screw this sucker back together, and we're just about done. So I'm getting a good look at this thing as I run the last screw in, and I'm thinking, man, this looks fantastic. The magenta looks great, and all it just needs is this little cleanup, and I can call it done, and I really love it. This is going to be one of my favorite cars, and I hope you love it too. Well, there you have it, my restored Harry Hauler. It was indeed as fun as I imagined it would be, and I think it came out awesome. If you like this build as much as I did, please give this video a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my restoration videos. Put any questions or comments down below. As always, I love to hear from you guys. Well, that's enough fun for one day. Never ever underestimate the importance of having fun. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying be good.